So welcome to another lockdown book flip through. Today I am looking through my 3 copies of the Gothic and Lolita Bible. I have 3 and I kind of wanted to flip through at least, sort of part of them, so we'll start. If you don't know what this is a Japanese publication, specifically a MOOC, so it's sort of a high quality book magazine hybrid. They have a little bit thicker paper all the way through. They're meant to be often more collectible items, soft cover. This is one that ran from I think it was the early 2000s through for 16 years. It wasn't stopped too far or that long ago. This is volume 59, I have 60 and 63. So yeah, 63 in 2017, this was one of the last ones. I think it only went a couple more past. So what this is the outgrowth of a very specific Japanese fashion subculture called Gothic and Lolita. It was published in Kara, was sort of an offshoot of Kara magazine. Fruits was also a big one in the late 90s and early 2000s. This is when Japanese youth would dress up in their awesome outfits and parade in Harajuku. This has kind of been killed by social media, gentrification, and oh yeah, also the massive pandemic. I picked up these 3 volumes from Tokyo Otaku Mode. I think they're all sold out now. I kind of got one for free as an introductory price. And they arrived in really good condition. You can still get them, of course. I really like this look. You can still get them online, on eBay. You can find them. You can find PDFs on various Tumblr posts and special blogs. Yeah. So what this is this is a fashion style that is very much focused on this total aesthetic. This is very common for Japanese fashion subcultures. It's the same with kimono. It's a very head-to-toe look. You need to do it properly. This is how Japanese fashion works, which is fine. It's what they do. It's a very head-to-toe look. As you can see, this is more of a fashion shoot setup here, but if we try to find some here from the advertising, you can see it's a very head-to-toe look. You have the wig, she has contacts, the makeup, the dress, the tights that go with the dress, the shoes. So it's not that cheap to do. It's actually quite a bit of money if you really want to get everything. Like, I really like this look. As you can see, I've tagged it with a little sticky note to probably use it as a reference later. Also very cute. And the Japanese aesthetic of Lolita is very much about innocence. It's very sweet. It's very non-sexualized. It's very covered up. As you've probably seen. And here's another one all in white. She's also got the wig and the contacts. So yeah, it's a very total look. Every magazine has a very similar setup. At the front there is a poster. Of course mine were new from the warehouse, so they have the full fold-out poster still. I haven't pulled them out yet, but who knows, I might at some point. I mean, they are mine and I plan on keeping them. And then, of course, there's some full-page advertisements. Galdus and the Pirates is one of the big brands for this style. You can still get their stuff. They're still producing. I just think it's not as popular as the moment. Like I said, Harajuku has become very gentrified, and social media also has really affected this. So you can see how elaborate the tights get here and all the different accessories. Lots of stuff like that in this book. It always has a lot of advertising for products. They usually have some darker stuff. There's not very much Gothic in these later issues. The earlier issues are a little bit more unpolished looking, but there's more Gothic stuff in them, whereas these later issues, I would say sort of like easily in the last half of this magazine's run, it focuses way more on the Lolita style and sort of the zuckersus, the sugar sweet looks. But you still see some Gothic in there. There's definitely some cute dresses in here. Some more Asian inspired looks. Yeah, there is some variety. There's always some fashion shoots with makeup, with different models in the scene. And then there's always the snap, which is the actual streetwear that people have, well, not streetwear as we know it today, but the actual people out on the street. They've gone out and taken photographs, and you can see different people and what their get-ups are, and you can see that they're doing what is in the fashion, what is in the photo shoots. This pair here, for instance, they've got the dresses, the tights, the shoes, the wigs, the hats, everything. And that's really very much part of it. And it does, I think, make it a bit expensive. Definitely, if you're trying to do the full look, you're investing quite a bit of money into an outfit. So they've always got some information on the meetups. They've got some international ones too. I think it's a very cute style. It's not something I would do. I tend more towards Maury Goth. And the nice thing about Maury and Goth is that you can thrift it a little bit more. Whereas I'm sure there is a market for secondhand dresses, but straight out of the gate, it's not so easy to thrift this style because everything needs to go together and because it has a really very specific look with bonnets and gloves and everything. So it's not quite as easy to thrift something like this, but you could do it, I think, if you really wanted to. There's always art in there. This one again from repeat of last times, The Strange Weathers. And then again, there's always a comic. I really like the comic. Really nice to see. Very pretty. The last one here that I looked at had foil. This has the more blue. And then at the back, I think this is a really cute dress as well. I really like the Chinese inspired ones, and I'd like to do some illustrations with the more Qipao inspired dresses. I think they're really pretty. Yeah, this is also a little bit more simple. It doesn't have to be super elaborate. She's sort of got more the maid look. So yeah, and you can see there's also a pattern that goes with this one to make this cute little butterfly wing cape. There's pattern here for an apron, and then there's the sewing pattern at the back. You have to have some reasonably good sewing skills to do this. It's not super easy. My mother was a professional seamstress who could make her own patterns, and I can sew as well a little bit, not as good as her, of course. I never had to learn because she sewed for me, but I know what goes into making a dress like this, and it's not something you can do if you've never used a sewing machine before. So yeah. I would just say, as we look through this last book here, if you're into this style, if you're into dressing like this, or you're into doing illustrations based on this, you definitely pick up a couple of them for reference or hunt down the PDFs. I am happy to have 3, but I don't feel that I need more. I feel with 3 of them, I get it. I have enough references. In fact, 2 was probably enough. 1 was probably enough. But it so happened that I was able to get 1 kind of for free. So yeah, I wouldn't say that I ever need any more of these. They have very nice photo shoots in them. I especially like these painterly tights. Like, I would wear these tights. I think they're really cool. I'd wear these tights too. Yeah, I would definitely, I like them for the poses. I like them for the references. But again, I don't need more than 3. Maybe I'd try to pick up a winter issue in the future sometime. There's some with illustrations I like a little bit more than what's on these 3. But yeah, you don't need more than that, and you've kind of got the idea. So yeah, again, if you're into this style, if you want reference, proper reference, not just looking at interpretations by people who don't really understand the style, because I've seen people who clearly like don't get the style, like they don't understand that it's a head to toe look thing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this was a really cute fashion shoot. There's some really nice references. I'll probably be sketching from it a bit later this year. A little bit about fairies in here. Yeah, I mean, it's a mixed bag. But if you can find a PDF and you really like what's in the PDF, yeah, you could definitely hunt down the volume. Again, they don't make them anymore. Because again, how many of them do you really need, even in terms of fresh publications? I'm actually really surprised that it got as far as it did. A lot of Japanese magazines have a much shorter survival rate. The market there is quite saturated, and they have really rapid product turnover. So yeah, I would recommend picking up a couple if you're interested, and but you probably don't need more than that. So that was Gothic and Lolita Bible.